Good morning and welcome to Morning Coach Today. I am so glad you're with us. As you know, my name is JB Glossinger, and this is your daily coaching system, the place to get your day started right. Welcome, and I'm so glad you're with us this August 16th, 2021. It is a Monday. Boy, do I love Mondays because it is our day to get organized, really focus in on what we're going to be doing next and going after it. And I got a huge week this week. We're going to talk about mirroring a little bit, understanding you are the mirror as the leader. Now, typically, annually, if we look at our Get It Done Now planner, this week is about kind of parenting. It's going to be a little bit about that, but I want to take it a step further and really talk about leadership. So we're going to do that. Tomorrow, we're going to get into our book, second part of Alchemy. I'm getting some great reports on that. Just an awesome book. We're still going to stay with part one because I didn't get through it all last time. There's just so much in this book. But we're going to keep working through that. We've got that for this month and next month. So we're going to hit that pretty hard. Tomorrow, then I said leadership is such a big part. We're going to talk about leadership and parenting with our community and our teams on Wednesday. From a deep aspect, how do we create more teams? How do we be the leader when we need to? And how do we step out of that leadership when we need to? And then, of course, Thursday's Ask JB. I always get great questions coming in, which I'd love to answer. Friday, we're going to talk about the commitment to yourself and why that is so important, specifically when we talk about mirroring. And then Saturday, I got the mirror ritual. I haven't talked about the mirror ritual in a long time. I wrote about that in my first book. It's something I do every once in a while. It'd be fun to go back to it since we are talking about a mirror this week and today. And then finally, Spiritual Sunday, we're going to talk about understanding you. So we got a big week planned for you as we rock through these episodes up here, 4,329 to 4,335. Talk about consistency, right? We've been together a while. I hope you enjoyed the intro. I haven't done the original intro in a long time, but I felt like doing it to get the Monday off, really rocking and rolling here and getting going. And like I said, this week was really kind of about parenting, but I'm flipping it more to leadership because I want to go over the idea of the aspect of, the idea is that your children are a reflection of you in the mirror. Like if a child's looking in the mirror, they're seeing you and they're doing the things you're doing. But it's the same thing with leadership. But I've gotta tell you, there's a few things that I've learned in the last year that have changed some of my ideas on this, and I think it's going to help you a lot. So let's get into it. Hey, real quick, thanks for listening to the weekly Morning Coach Cast that we've been doing since 2005. Glad to have you. If you're new here, you're probably wondering, what the heck? How do I get the daily show? Well, we are a membership program, a coaching program. And basically the reason we do that, we don't do sponsors and advertising. I don't want to dilute the message. I never have, and I've never done sponsors. So our members actually provide us the ability to do this every day, 365 days of the year. That's why we can do 4,329 episodes. So if you want to join, you can head over to morningcoach.com, learn about our programs. Right now we're closed. Depending on when you're listening to this, just put in your email and we'll reach out to you when we're open again. And also we open up various and have like 24-hour sales and all kinds of stuff. We just have a lot of good energy. We're real people, and that's why we do it the way we do it. If you're looking for that type of great coaching and energy and consulting and lifestyle, then you've come to the right place. Just head on over to morningcoach.com and click that Join Now button, and you can find out more information, and we'll let you know when we open up our membership. All right, let's get back to the show. So when I look at, leadership, and I used to, have a real hard time with working with people. And I'll be in full disclosure, it's still challenging for me. It's challenging. And part of it is because of my background and the things that I believe. I grew up in Indiana in a blue collar town where we believed in hard work. And I was taught at a very young age that people are going to do what you do. When you go lead, you need to be there. You need to show up in the office and you need to be there. And what happened for me over the years is, as a lifestyle guy, it really became a problem because what happened was I started Morning Coach way back when, and then we weren't making any money. This is 2005, 2006, so we started an internet firm, and I had an office in Fort Lauderdale, and we painted the floors black and the walls red, and we called it Viral Kung Fu. It was a cool place. We got a bunch of interns. We were partying downstairs and going upstairs. But what I found out is because of my mentality, it was supposed to be a place where you could come and go, kind of a Google atmosphere. You could work when you wanted and leave and come. But what I found because of my personality and something that I am personally working on, and I know there's a few of us that are out there that are doing it too, Greg, if you're listening today, I'm speaking specifically to you, that we grew up in the Midwest and we believe in working hard and you got to show up and you got to put your time in, right? And that's ingrained in me. So what I found all those years ago was what this free place that I wanted to create became my prison. I had to be there at 6 in the morning and I would stay till 8 or 9 at night. And the reason is because I wanted to lead by example, because I knew I was a mirror. In fact, for years, I've taught this, that your people will do 90% of what you do. So think about that. If you're not working at all and you're going out and golfing and your people are going to do 90% of what you are going to do, what's going to happen? And that really comes from my old area of sales and really being a sales manager and really understanding that world of multi-level marketing, sales, working with salespeople and really getting them to work hard in the corporate environment. It wasn't what I learned in the lifestyle stuff that I know now, but it's still ingrained in my DNA that your people will do 90% of what you do. So you got to be there. And it's one of the reasons that I've always had a hard time working in an office, because I don't want somebody to hold me accountable because I've already got enough guilt for myself that I went golfing that day, right? So this is something that I had to work extremely hard on myself, because I still teach that. Like if I'm at an MLM conference, I'm going to say your people are going to do 90% of what you do, because that's a different type of environment, right? That's a recruiting environment. People need to go out there and sell, and the speed of the leader determines the rate of the pack. But when we're talking about lifestyle businesses and we're talking about a business that we're adding lifestyle to, we've got to be very cautious of really that mirroring. And that's why I wanted to change it a little bit to leadership. Now, as a parent, yes, we need to do a good job of this. I always use the old example of the phone ringing and, you're telling your children to go pick it up and tell them I'm not here, right? So what are you teaching your children? You're teaching them to mirror lying, right? They're lying, and they know they're lying, and you're teaching them to lie. Don't tell them I'm not here. Get the phone and tell them I'm not here. Now, with cell phones and everything else, it's not the same. I probably got to change my example. I'm dating myself, but that mirroring aspect of things is a big part in parenting. It is a big part in life. Again, part of the problem that I've had over the years is people wanting to be me and do my work. And that's always been a problem, because people are like, well, I want to do exactly what you do. And it's like, well, wait a minute. That's not what I hired you for. So as I've grown older, I've had to realize that people aren't me. They're not going to do the same things I'm going to do. And I also have to accept the fact that I'm going to have to hire people that are going to have to work a lot more than I do, because that's their job, right? And that's part of being an entrepreneur. And that's a hard psychological shift that you need to make. So yes, you are the mirror. Yes, the speed of the leader determines the rate of the pack, but not everybody can go golf 5 days a week. Right? Think about that. So you've got to be able to establish a posture and establish a presence so that people will respect you, right? Will respect you and follow you, even though you aren't working or their perception is not working. Because I'm going to tell you the truth. Especially if you're in a company, man, when I was in sales and we would go do a sales trip like to Acapulco, everybody was in the office was jealous, but they didn't realize that you were working all day, you were drinking all night. And yeah, on the surface level, that's really fun. But when you really dig into it, it's not that much fun. It's kind of like when Matt says, everybody wants to be the rock star until you're really the rock star. Same thing in sales. Like everybody wanted to go to Acapulco. I wish I could go to Acapulco. And yes, there were parts of it were fun, but it was late nights, early mornings, people you don't want to be with, kissing butt, just not fun stuff, right? But everybody in the office thinks you're on vacation. So when you come back all tired and wore out and did a bunch of deals, they think you've been on vacation because they've been stuck in the office. So same thing, if you're the boss and you're going out, you've got to be able to posture yourself right to let people know that this is what you've built and they can eventually build that too. Now, it's more challenging now than it's ever been. I'll be honest with you. In full disclosure, everybody wants to be the rock star. Everybody wants that lifestyle. Everybody wants to be the Instagram hero. I mean, not everybody, but you know what I'm saying. Most people, probably not the people that we have that are listening here, but many people, especially the younger generation, they see somebody becoming the Instagram star or the YouTube star and they want to do that. And the truth is there's very few people that eventually do that. So people get jaded, they get frustrated, they get angry, and then they they let all that out, and that's what you see a lot in the world today. So what we've got to do is we've got to ground ourselves in our posturing and presence. So realize that, yes, we are the mirror. We are the person that's out there leading, but we also have to create that corporate culture or that philosophy within the framework of what we're doing so people understand and respect that it's the time and energy that you've put in is what has allowed you to become who you are and do the things that you do. And that's a part of the education of what we're doing. The other thing you have to do is make sure you're hiring the right people. And again, this is something that I've learned over the years, that I'm very entrepreneurial and I want my people to be entrepreneurial. But the problem is, if you get people that are entrepreneurial and they just want to do their own thing or want to be you, then all of a sudden you're running into that head-butting area. So I think for me right now, one of the key things for me is looking for people for specific things that they're doing. And that way I can tell them that this is the SOP, this is how you're doing it. And SOP is the procedures that they're doing, right? So they have standard operating procedure. That's what an SOP is. And so it's like, this is what you do. This is what you show up. This is when you do it. And this is what's going on. Do not worry about what I'm doing. You have a job to do. And then hiring those right people or getting those right people around so you can still be the mirror and the leader in your position and the things you do by being that visionary, if that's what you are, integrator, if that's what you are. But then these people can go and do what they need to do without that guilt or that anxiety or that frustration. So this is what I've learned. Like I said, years ago, I'd have been pounding on the desk, like, your people are doing 90% of what you're going to do. But then I look at my own life and the things that I do. That's not how I build anymore. That's how I used to build. And yes, it did work. It worked in corporate. And look, you can still be the speed of the leader determines the rate of the pack. But at 52 years old, that's not what I want. I want lifestyle. I want freedom. I want the ability to be able to do what I want, when I want. And I want to mentally be able to step back and enjoy the entire process. So that's what I'm after, right? And I'm sure that if you're listening, probably you're more than likely looking for the same things. You're not looking to grind it out anymore and work your rear end off for ends meet. Now, if you're doing something you love and you want to grind it out, it's okay. The Facebook guys, when they started staying up all night, with the coders, working day and night, that ship has sailed for me. But you may want to do that, and you can mirror that. Just realize that at some point, when you start to step out of that and start to enjoy it, if you haven't built the right culture and built the right structure, you're going to have that guilt feeling in things that you do. So leadership is really about being yourself and being authentic and allowing people in to understand your successes and failures and why you live the way you do. And that's one of the things I'm doing more and more. I mean, I brought it up in public speaking last week when we talked about different aspects of speaking, and swearing is a really interesting, right? So there's a dynamic in everything that I do, and I don't mind sharing. That's part of educating clients. It's part of educating people around you, your family, letting people know your boundaries, why you do something, why you can do something. And that's what people understand. So now it's like, look, I've done 4,329 episodes. I've written 4 books. I've done 700 videos. There's a reason that I can golf every day. Just because you've done 2 videos and 10 podcasts and written a couple blog posts doesn't mean you're going to have the same success level. Maybe you will. Maybe you'll become an Instagram hero. Maybe you will, but if you're going to model, then you're going to have to realize, okay, maybe we'll go back to your people will do 90% of what you do. Well, that would be great. If anybody did 90% of what I did, that would be 4,000 podcasts, 700 videos, at least 2 books, right? But at the end of the day, that's not why we're here. We're here for good energy, and we're here to get a lesson. And the lesson that I want to give you today is you are the mirror to your children, and I think that's really important. Your children are a reflection of you. So what are you teaching them, or what are you doing? I don't want to make this whole week about that. I just want to make that point today. And then when we talk about leadership, what are we doing to lead at the highest level? What are we doing to really make sure we're posturing properly? That we are posturing the right way so that people realize and recognize that, wow, this is why they're doing it. Do we have the authenticity that we need from an authentic leader? Are we honest, and are people trustworthy, and do they trust you? Are you having the right people around you? Are you finding those propellers, or are you hanging around drainers? And are you hiring drainers instead of propellers? Those are the things that we got to really look at and recognize that you can go out there and do whatever you want. You can live whatever lifestyle you want as long as you are conveying what you're doing in the proper way, because once it gets off, that's when it causes problems. And that's what I've dealt with for 15 years. And that's why I can coach and help other people so much, because I've had these problems, right? I've made these mistakes over the years because I was trying to do it different ways. And so finally, after all these years, I can understand the aspect of a lifestyle business and help people that have a business to get more lifestyle and deal with those repercussions politically inside their own organizations. And I can also help you if you're trying to build a lifestyle business to build it right the first time, so you don't have those problems later when you come back and have to deal with them. And that's what we're really focused on. So this week, it's going to be a big week on leadership, really getting you to understand who you are, what you're about, what you're doing, so we can focus on the positive things that you can do to impact your business, your life, your lifestyle with the freedom and the joy that you can truly have without the guilt. And I can tell you the majority of people that I deal with and I'm close with, whether it's Inner Circle, my private clients, group coaching, and those groups, most of the people, and I'm going to tell you, everybody within our circles are really great people, and they are doing the best they can, and they want to lead, right? But we've got to be very cautious of making our leadership become a slavery. And it's just like when you go out and you start a company and then you basically buy a job, right? Like I almost did with Sarava when I raised $22 million and went to go start that company. That would have been hell for me. And I'm so glad I was able to see that and step away. So make sure when we look at the decisions you're making, you got the right coaches, you got the right groups, and you got the right people around you to build the life that you're looking to live. If you want to be a grinder, that's fine. Not many people do, but it's okay. I grinded a lot in my career. I don't want to do it anymore. But if you want to live that life and have that freedom, then we've got to really look at posturing and leadership. Make sure we're making the right decisions and setting things up properly. Okay? So let's go do it to it. Let's have a fantastic day, and I'll be back with more right here tomorrow on morningcoach.com. I love you. I love you. Go make it happen. It's going to be a great, great week.